listen, please don't be mistaken. You can actually use the visualization technique to help shed unwanted scale weight. Like literally, if you are on your fitness journey and you are looking to drop some weight, like I had over 60 pounds that I wanted to reduce at the start of my fitness journey. I just wanted to feel like myself again. And I did not, first of all, I thought this visualization technique was like a placebo effect or something that people make up, but it's not. Like it really works. Like you gotta try it. You gotta try it because it will give you phenomenal results. So I'm gonna jump into it. First, let me introduce, if you are new to this channel, my name is 𝗏𝘁𝗿𝗏𝗏. I am a certified personal trainer and weight management specialist. Welcome to my channel. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share if you find any valuable content or information in this video. So let's jump into it, girlies. Now, I had no idea how successful this visualization technique would be in my fitness journey. And I use it in so many other areas of my life, but this is initially how it started. So let me tell you the story first. That way I can kind of make it easier for me to break down the steps to do the technique. And trust me, it's really simple. Stay tuned. Okay, quick little story time. And trust me, this has everything to do with the technique. So a few months in, I am, by this time in my weight loss journey, a few months in, I have already successfully lost 23 pounds to be exact. And honestly, my attitude approaching my workouts was still pretty shitty. Like I still had a terrible relationship when it came to just, getting the work done, feeling good about it. Like at the end of the workout, I would be like, oh, I feel so accomplished, but like dragging myself there to get the work done, it was literally that, dragging myself there, forcing myself to do it and going through the motions with a bad attitude, which probably led me to injuries quickly in my journey, which I have discussed in other videos. Now, with that being said, a coach, they are trained. They're trained to watch out for mental and physical and emotional disconnections. And although I wasn't personally this particular trainer's client, they had been noticing me. I'm showing up quite consistently, but I don't ever look like I want to be there. I'm really having a hard time executing some exercises. And honestly, I'm not gonna lie, like I've said in my other videos, prior to even taking my investment even further, other than just paying for a gym membership, I would, from the treadmill, watch other people exercise and work out and try to copy their workout. Okay, no plan, no program, nothing. So if you're a professional in the game, you get it. People do this quite often, and you start off that way because you really don't believe the process, right? You really don't believe that this could work for you. So anyway, I hop off the treadmill during this particular session, and I'm about to make my way to the floor and start executing some exercises that I have seen while I was on the treadmill this day. Honestly, I used to do this. So as I'm walking to the floor, the coach stops me and he says, I noticed you've been here for a couple months, and I wanted to give you a tip because, I'm not trying to, sell you or anything. I just wanted to help you with an exercise. And he was helping me with my squat. And he said, it's so helpful if you, before starting the exercise, if you visualize yourself doing the exercise first and then you attempting it. And I was like, okay. But guys, it actually works. I actually took that technique and took it a step further in my weight loss journey. Let me break it down. So athletes do this all the time. When they are jumping on platforms, doing, box jumps, when they are, trying to make rank and have all these special drills that they have to do. And it's challenging. Just because they're an athlete does not mean challenges are not there. Most definitely. However, the way that they are able to execute this like effortlessly is through the visualization process. Like, they don't just jump into doing the work. Like, you watch, you visualize, you execute. Super simple. So what I did was I went so far as to digging up some old pictures where I could appreciate Paris in a better place. Like, hear me out. Right now, in a place where I am struggling with self-image, I'm depressed, I don't know the correct way to eat, I don't know, and I don't have an exercise program, I don't feel like doing it, I am in a complete rut over here. However, I can remember when I was fine, I was being chased, people, doing things for me, inviting me places. Like, I remember being that girl, being it, always being out there in the limelight. Things started to change as my attitude and as my attitude and my body started to change. Like, my mindset started to shift. Like, how I thought about myself, I realized other people started to pick up on these emotions. So of course they weren't inviting me places. Girl, you act depressed and you don't even dress the same. Like, you're coming in big t-shirts and jeans when you normally wear a nice bodycon dress or a bodycon jumpsuit. Like, you don't even look like you want to be here. Like, my entire attitude and outlook on life had completely changed in this overweight body. Like, I was really morbidly obese. That was my BMI, morbid obese. So I could remember people hollering at me, people, rushing to do things, people inviting me places, people really going out their way to be somebody for me or to be helpful, to be supportive, going out their way to help me. And now I don't have that over here. So I could remember how that made me feel. It made me feel good. It made me feel wanted. You know what I mean? It made me feel like I had a place in the world. Now, dealing with, depression and stress about my weight, of course, you are not able to bring in or magnify these good feelings because you are constantly thinking about the negative. With that being said, I started to put my old pictures as screenshots and home screens of myself, right? So I would take a lean picture when I could remember, living my best life and how people would respond to me, how people looked at me, how many compliments I was getting from women and men. I would put that as my screensaver and go from there. So I would always have in the back of my mind this vision of me being this lean girl. Like, by instilling this visualization technique, I can not only visualize who I used to be, but I have even more to go off of, right? I have those feelings, those emotions that I can actually recall and conjure up and get into the feeling of how that made me feel. Like, I honestly felt like on top of the world. I felt like that girl. Like, there was nothing I couldn't do or couldn't get because everyone loved me. People liked being in my company. People loved inviting me places. Like, literally, that was my life. Like, people, I know it's hard to believe, but honestly, people will pay for you to come in places just to be in your company. Like, that's how my life was. Like, people would pay just to be in my company, to go out and kick it with me. And I was all for it. But I needed to be able to feel that, right? I needed to be able to feel that good in order to start taking action. And I'm telling you, it works. It works. So I started, one thing led to another. So I started with a picture. A couple days later, I got a thought, right? I got a thought in my head like, you kind of need to break this fast. Like, you need to start eating breakfast. Like, how can you work in more meals? Because obviously I didn't have a good diet. I didn't know much. I wasn't really sold on investing in a personal trainer during this time because, again, I'm still working on my belief process. So I need to see enough evidence. I need to see a little bit more evidence before I take that leap. Now I'm at a point where I'm inspired to take action. I'm on my phone. I decided, okay, not only do I need to break that fast, but girlfriend, you only eat 1 or 2 good meals a day. And when you're normally hungry, you're snacking. Like, you're not really getting enough protein and nutrient dense meals. So we got to work on this. So what I did was, just out of the blue, I inspired action. I was inspired to take action, right? This is what we want. I opened up my phone, went to my clock, and decided to create 4 alarms, one for breakfast, 3 hours later to remind me to eat again. I didn't want to do too much, so I would kind of figure out when was the best time to work out for me, and then the next meal would be my post-workout meal, and then the last meal would be dinner. So it was very easily done and inspired. I was inspired to take action just from a simple visualization technique. I started to use this in my exercises as well, right? Like trying new exercises that you may shy away from, such as lunges. Like, I hated squats, and lunges was just completely out of the question. Like, I had already made up in my mind prior to starting the fitness journey, like prior to even getting the gym membership, seeing people do this online, I was like, I'm never going to do that exercise. I was inspired to try this exercise, right? Like, it was just like things was coming to me, light bulbs was going off. I had new ideas here and there, and I was inspired to do it. I no longer felt forced. I no longer felt like I have this hate relationship with bettering myself, with aligning myself with goals. Like, it became easier. So guys, I promise you, you can do the same thing for your life. You can actually visualize what and how you want to look, right? You can take an old picture, make it your screensaver, make it your home screen, and go from there. Start thinking of the way you were treated when you were this size. Start thinking the way you felt when you were this size, how you were carefree like a butterfly, how you were inspired and actually motivated to get dressed and look like somebody for the day. Like, all of these things will completely put you in the position to take more action. So again, the visualization process, the visualization technique is hands down one of my favorites to help promote weight loss, fat loss. It's going to inspire you to take action. Do not sleep on this method. That is all, girlies. Thank you for joining in. I hope this technique serves you as much as it served me. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe, and tag a friend who can actually use this technique.